If you make $100,000 a year, can you actually live comfortably in San Diego? What would that budget look like? And is that enough money, or is that still not enough to live on in 2026? Let's break it down. If we haven't met yet, my name is Scott. I'm a San Diego realtor, and I help buyers, sellers, and relocation clients navigate the ins and outs of the San Diego real estate market. Let's walk through this together. First, we need to look at what $100,000 actually looks like after taxes. Depending on your situation, a rough estimate is that you're probably taking home somewhere around $6,000 to $6,500 per month. Now, obviously, that can vary a lot depending on your individual tax situation, your benefits, and your deductions. But that gives us a good starting point that we can work from. Now let's look at renting. If you're renting a one-bedroom apartment in San Diego, you're probably looking at somewhere between $2,500 to $3,500 per month, depending on the area that you choose to live in. Let's say you land somewhere in the middle, around $3,000 a month. That leaves you with about $3,000 to $3,500 left over for everything else. Things like food, utilities, transportation, insurance, and any other expenses that you might have. So can you live on that? Yes, but are you going to feel super comfortable and have a lot of extra flexibility? It depends on the person and your expectations. That might be enough for some people, but definitely not enough for others. Now let's talk about if you are looking at buying a home. At a $100,000 income per year, qualifying for a home loan in San Diego can be a little bit more challenging, especially at the current home prices. You may be able to qualify depending on your debt, how much money you have saved for a down payment, and what your interest rate is. But realistically, you're probably going to be a little more limited in terms of what you can afford. It is doable, but this is where a lot of buyers either look at condos or townhomes, or they consider buying with a partner to increase their purchasing power. I'm also seeing more and more buyers these days get help with the down payment from a parent or family member in order to help with that home purchase. So what's the real answer here? Yes, you can live in San Diego on $100,000 a year, but there are going to be trade-offs. You might not be living right by the beach. You might not have a ton of extra money left over each month. And you may need to be more intentional with your spending. A few things are going to make a big difference here. First, your debt. If you have car payments or student loans, that's going to impact how comfortable you feel. The more money you have going to your debt each month, the less money you have available to spend. Second, your housing choice. What area you choose to live in, and whether you rent something a little nicer or stretch your budget a little bit more to save a few $100s each month. Are you willing to live with roommates to make that money stretch even further? And third, your lifestyle. How often you go out, how much you travel, and what you spend your money on. At the end of the day, $100,000 a year is enough to live in San Diego. But whether it feels comfortable really depends on how you choose to live and what your expectations are. If you're thinking about moving to San Diego and you want help breaking down your numbers or figuring out what makes the most sense for your individual situation, feel free to reach out to me. I'm happy to walk through it with you. My cell phone and email are listed in the video description. If you found this helpful, please make sure to like and subscribe. I post weekly videos about living in San Diego and the San Diego real estate market. I'll see you next week.